I'm recording now. I don't even
recording.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're all recording.
All right, we're gonna do the clap.
We're live.
How
Oh,
does
but you know the bro's just gonna come in halfway through. So
Can we do the clap?
yeah, okay.
How does it work?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. See, we're not okay. Three. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there we go. Now we're in sync.
Okay.
It's a pretty. I was.
Shailan here.
I think so.
Fuck.
Yeah, we're just about to go away.
All right, we'll be back.
Yeah, we didn't even like literally keep the camera on because I haven't seen the bro.
I can't believe this, bro. We literally
just started. I haven't seen the bro in 5 years, so this is literally like getting. Actually, can we record it?
What's up, man?
What up, baby?
What's going on?
What's happening, G? Let me give him a snuggle.
How's it going?
I love the Instagram shot of your mouth open. I was like, whoa. Oh, dude.
Bro, that was like the perfect in sync clap. I've never done the perfect clap.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was definitely the best one we've done.
I felt as if I should have brought another mic though, bro.
Definitely would have been.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea. So for those of you that don't know who this man is, this is Jared. Say hi. So Jared has been my best friend for 25 years now. I've surprised him over here in New Zealand. I jumped out of a boot. What was it?
You jumped out the boot naked. You jumped out like the full hangover scene at the end where they like opens the boat and he's like, "Brah!" Yeah, you did that.
That's what I did. And now you're thinking, who the fuck is this guy over here? This is another one of my dear friends. Tell us about yourself, Shailan.
I froze for a second.
What's up, bro?
Oh, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
Who am I? So I am Shailan, of course. Kaydes is one of my best mates. We met it in our darkest times stripping.
Fuck yeah, we did.
Yeah, we fucking did. And we just been mates ever since. And I am now a transformational coach.
What does that entitle, bro?
It entitles a whole lot. Well, ultimately, the overarching is I'm a personal development coach. So I specialize in helping people realize their purpose and what they actually put on this earth to do. So the transformational is a sub-bracket in which I create courses or strategies that help people realize or undergo the process which unlocks that process into personal development. So.
Okay, so you started that off through fitness and well-being and things like that, and then you just kind of put the how did you kind of like, when was the tipping point that you kind of realized this was something that you yourself wanted to do? Do you know what I mean? Because you've got to kind of figure something else within yourself to go, this is exactly what I want to do. So when was that point, bro?
So if I have to go all the way back, I would say it started for me when I was real young. I was 8 years old. And when I was 8, I decided I wanted to look good for females.
Okay.
So
as you do.
As you do.
That's like the best reason to look good as well, eh?
Exactly.
Unless you're for blokes, but that's cool, whatever you're into, G. But yeah.
So nonetheless, and so I underwent this process, and I, from a very young age, understood that if I worked on my skin, if I dressed well, if I became funny, if I became charismatic, I would eventually become good looking. If I accumulated enough of that over time, it would result in X, which is females, right?
Right.
And
Wait. From 8 years old.
8 years old, yeah.
No way.
So I had an influence.
Seriously.
Absolutely. So I had an influence of older cousins who were just all about money, girls, cars.
How much older were they?
They were about 13. 13, 14,
okay, right.
yeah.
So they're at the start of like getting into girls.
I say cousins. There was one. There was one older cousin, but there was 3 of us, of the cousins that were the same age, and so we admired this dude. So we'd compete to get to his status or get his attention.
Because he was like the older family member. Yeah. You were like, he's the man. I want to be like him. So you started from 8 years old. That's unreal.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I put this into process and I started achieving shit, right? And then what had happened was, I'm trying to figure out, again, just unravel the story, but ultimately same thing applied to when I started stripping. Is that I never knew how to dance. I'd never done any dance courses. I've never watched anything online. But there's something that I understand, which is a 4-step process to everything in life that will help you excel at whatever you're doing. There's a 4-step process behind everything. So if you're wanting to become a stripper, if you have the look, if you have the gear, if you have the step in the music, you know what I mean? If you have the hype in the songs. So I systematically break down everything. So the same thing applied with fitness. So I went in and did the fitness game. And again, I was able to achieve, if you guys have seen any of my my actual bodybuilding photos, if you see them, it is sick. Like, I should not have achieved what I achieved in such a short period of time. It's because
You look good, bro. You look really good.
I'm actually going to go out and say I had a few mates in Australia that had known who you were from Instagram, and I'd shown them. I'm like, I'm meeting up with my mate over there, and I showed them a picture, and they were like, "Oh, I know that guy. I follow him on Instagram or something." Yeah, so you were around about, bro, 100%.
Yeah. So, and that's just because I understand what I still have to create a word for it, but it's just creating stuff over time that allows you to achieve what you want to achieve. So the same thing is what I do with clients. I create a strategy, a 4-step strategy that they accumulate over time, which helps them see result. Now, that can be applied like it did for me in so many different things. I now teach that to people, which helps them realize things about themselves and see success. If that makes sense.
That's pretty cool. It's so hard to share a mic, bro. Like, I might even just invest in another mic tomorrow. So we just, it's annoying, bro.
I just want you guys to have heads close together, and that would be better.
Yeah, we can and then we look like a barbershop Cortez, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like start singing songs. I know a song we can sing. It's by the Island Boys. But I've been cranking that song so much, bro. It's so annoying.
By the way, I had no idea this
really
was going to be all about
should
me. This is not how we spoke about this beforehand.
Well, people know me, man. They watch it. They watch the podcast. So this is kind of like Wilkoz World on Tour, which is pretty dope.
Are we meant
It's
to be?
100% what it is. Yeah. You're on tour.
Are we meant to be looking at each other or the camera?
No, you look at us, man. We're just having a conversation. We're just kicking back. So I'm pretty fascinated, man, because like I knew you back then, and to put it frank, you know, you're very. It's kind of captivating how different you are now to what you were then. And I think all of us, not so much you. You're just Jared. You've just kind of done Jared shit. You know what I mean? Now you like meat and stuff, but it's not like a full transformation like you had. You know what I mean? Or myself. You know, I became more career focused. But what I found interesting was how different, like the morals and like everything that you've kind of changed compared to what we were like. Because to put it lightly, bro, we were pieces of shit,
Absolutely, man.
Fuck wheel
100%.
dogs. Like Jared, you can vouch for that.
Yeah, you guys are on a different level. Like, I mean, for those that don't know, all three of us were stripping.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think you got us both into it, would you say? You definitely got the ball rolling for the three of us. But, I mean, the two of you are on different paths of stripping compared to myself. Like, I was all in it for the money. And
What were we in it? What were we in it for,
We
Shailan?
were in it for pure attention and
fuck,
getting our
you
ego,
got it, though.
getting our
You
ego
got
stroked.
the ego and you got the attention like no one's business. Like, you guys were known... Like, that's what you were known for. If someone was like, oh, Kaydes, I'm pretty sure he's, you know, he fucking...
Is he the stripper?
Is he the stripper? Like,
Is it Zac
he
Efron?
put his bum cheeks in my face. Like, you know, like...
branded me.
That was an ongoing joke from the dinner table. But yeah, man, we were, to put it lightly, pieces of shit. And I think, like, I do think it was more age as well. That was why we were a bit more hungry, if you would like to put it politely.
I wouldn't say it was age. I think we were predestined to do it, judging by our circumstances of upbringing. If you could recall, we were doing it in nightclubs before the stripping came along.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, from when before we were stripping, maybe you as well, like when we were going out to clubs, the two of you were definitely like everyone knew, like not knew who you were, but they were like, those two guys are the most confident people in this room.
Absolutely,
So you're 100% right on that. You guys were almost like destined to do it.
Yeah. We fell into it, man. It was destined. We were doing it. We were picking up chicks. Like we met that way.
Yeah.
We met in a nightclub, being like, "Wow, you're good looking. Do you want to pick up chicks?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick up chicks. And so we were doing it for free, and then we just found a way to make it more intentional.
Yeah.
And make money off it.
You guys met?
Yeah.
Is that really how you met? You're just like, what's up? Like, let's do
That's
this.
basically
Well,
it.
we were staring each other across the room, like, you stay on your side. I'm the side. That's your half. Those are your bitches. If they're there, don't cross my tip. You stay on your end.
So then you guys were like, hold a second, like if we go together, like we can have the whole club, like
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I just imagine that looking at each other from across the room, like two blokes with the tightest pants in the room, just looking at each other like, that guy looks like High School Musical. Fuck him, bro. And I'm looking at you like, I think I'm gonna try and stab him. Like, mental, bro.
I've honestly never had more of a threat in a club than you.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You'd walk in and you'd just be necking two birds, and I'd be like, fuck, I hate that guy. I hate that guy. I remember my first thought being like, fuck, I hate that guy. And then we became best mates.
Best man, yeah, because we ran into each other. Hi, man, what's up?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what's funny is we're not actually as cool as we make it sound like we were back then. Because we're really not, bro. Because the amount of shit that you and I get along with, we weren't always doing cool shit. We were just hanging out, bro. Do you know what I mean? So we kind of put it on a little bit, but yeah, we were confident. But I don't think I've got that same confidence anymore. Not now.
I think it's a skill you learn, like anything, like I described before, is that.
But it's nothing that it's not like learning a bite. It's something that you got to keep sharpening.
You got to keep sharpening.
Otherwise, you just I go into a club now and I'm like, fuck,
Honestly,
what?
Exactly. A girl comes up to me, how you doing? I'm like, okay.
My name is Jeff.
I love it.
I reckon out of all of us, Jared would probably be. I reckon out of all of us, Jared would probably be the best. If we all we're just our misses are over there, by the way. But if we for some reason just all just got dumped at the same time, I reckon Jared would be the best with the ladies.
Oh man, he can cook for starters. He can fucking cook for starters.
Okay, maybe it depends.
He can put a table together. We just know how to put them through tables. We don't know how to build a table. So.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely
girls don't really like that anymore. The 50 Shades thing is so gone.
Yeah, we're gonna find different types of girls. Like I'm gonna definitely find the one.
Hashtag me too for 50 Shades of Grey and shit. It's not cool anymore, bro. It was back then, but now it's not.
Yeah. Girls want security now. They don't want to be put through tables and be choked.
Yeah. So when we were taking, these drugs and we were partying and we're doing it for the attention and we're doing it for all that crazy shit, it kind of hit a point where I was like, this is not fun for me anymore. And I'm really compromising who I am and what I stand for as a man at the end of the day. And then eventually I just kind of lost interest. I enjoyed dancing. I enjoyed coming up with my own routine. I enjoyed it. But I genuinely just lost interest due to the fact that it was seedy, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. It was seedy. Like we can talk like we had heaps of cool stories and we did heaps of crazy shit. But at the end of the day, it for me, it didn't align with my values.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I went down the path career-wise, because it gave me more stability. And to be fair, it gave me more choice. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think for me, if I had to analyze my values at the time, I would say significance was a massive driving force for me. So I feel like it gave me significance. Being on a stage, being on a platform, being on posters, it really resonated with me. Hence why I enjoyed it so much. And also family. Because even though it was a real fake family, and there was a lot of, like you said, fake dudes, we were still tight. And we had some real good, genuine bonds, sort of like the bond you and I built. So...
Yeah, absolutely. So, I felt you were more looking forward, because I remember you telling me in the house, bro, you were like, I didn't really need that because I always had Jared. So, I wasn't really desperate for that. I was more desperate for attention, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I was doing it.
Yeah.
But it got to the point...
How cool is it that it's always your values that determine what you enjoy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once the intention, obviously, it flipped for you. So attention wasn't on the cards, or you just got bored of it. Hence why.
I noticed, I was like, stripping made me actually shitter with women than if I wasn't. Like, if I was just that kid in the club.
Yeah.
It gave you a false sense of status, for one.
Absolutely.
And if people didn't treat you with said status, you felt like, am I doing something wrong here? Have I fucked this up?
Yeah.
Do people not like me anymore? And who the fuck wants to live their life like that, bro?
Absolutely.
Like,
So that's real interesting because, like, I felt so differently when I was stripping. Like, I was just so money hungry that it was like, if anything, I think it made me, like, better communicator, like better talking to people because I was just constantly talking to new people all the time. Like, it's like I did not really, I didn't chase girls or anything like that. I was just money hungry. And like my people skills just went through the roof because of it. Like I was not in it for the attention or anything like that.
Yeah, and I find a lot of guys, which was weird at the time because a lot of people who'd step into it for money, they weren't actually putting emotion into it.
yeah.
They weren't putting it was blank face. They couldn't care less, and they were literally just dollar signs. And we were like, what?
Yeah, that's interesting though because like, I mean, like I could never have done it if I enjoyed it a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but like I wouldn't have enjoyed it if they didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I never saw anyone like that, but
we do it if we weren't getting paid at the time. We didn't care less whether we got paid or not. We were just down to have a good time because we were going to do it in a club for free anyway that weekend.
yeah. But then again, I suppose the difference between like what I was doing and you guys were doing is I was doing like the hens nights. You guys were doing like full touring Magic Mike shows.
Yeah, we
like
loved-
so
yeah,
different.
yeah.
Like two different parts of stripping.
Where did it get the point that where did it come from that the idea that when we were on tour, where did this whole how savage can we push it idea come from? Seriously, because why was it we were pushing the boundaries as to how savage and how chaotic we could make shit?
Yeah.
Why? Have you kind of thought about that and go, why do we do that?
It's pretty simple. It's like any business or any company, right? The leader dictates the company's values. So if you work for a boss and he's very high strung and he's very edgy and he's very domineering, 10 to 1, the business will store, like if you go into a gym and the gym manager, whoever's sitting by the door, they welcome everyone in. They're the one who cleans. They're the one who signs the contracts, for instance. So they dictate the energy within the space. So we were fortunate or unfortunate to have an absolute nutcase as a boss who was a savage. Like he had obviously underlying issues. So when we came in, we idolized him. That was our benchmark. So we saw stripping. We didn't really have anyone else to look at, although because it was a very niche market. All we saw was him and his behaviors. And we were like, wow, okay, so that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to get reckless. And we did it.
Yeah, we did, man. But it was to the point where it was like you'd finish. I think a lot of people don't understand how bad it actually was, but it was to the point where you'd end a tour and you would just be like, you would shower the sins away from you, man. Like it was so bad. But that's not, is it in our nature normally to push the boundaries like that?
You see, I think
we didn't need
it's
to.
important to note that Kaydes and I had two contrasting experience, Jay as well. It's like any relationship. You can go into it, and although we all witnessed the same event or did the same thing, everyone will have a different feel based on what situation they're in at the time. Obviously, you had partners and stuff throughout, so it was a different experience. But I get what you're saying in terms of pushing the benchmark.
The boundaries. It didn't,
yeah.
that's the thing. If I look back on it, I was like, that didn't need to happen. So when I met guys that were doing it in Perth and I talked about it, I was like, dude, these guys are soft, man. And it wasn't the fact that they were soft. We were just so bad. And that group was so bad that it just pushed the boundaries of like what we should have been doing. We could have just done shows, enjoyed it, hung out with some girls after, but it was like, no, we're going to fuck everything, bro. Like anything and anything.
Yeah.
Anything with a pulse.
Yeah, what I'm about to say goes against because you're like, we want to fuck everything with the pulse, but I loved it, man. It served its time, and I enjoyed like the good and the bad. I thoroughly enjoyed the shit out of it, and I fucking miss it. But that's because I can differentiate the bad and the good. Like, I understand that everything bad in life, like as discussed in dinner, is it sets you up for something. And I feel like it set us up, as discussed. We would not be able to appreciate our bodies, ourselves, our partners, because we went through that ordeal. Like we've discussed as well, is that every male or female, most females as well, they all have that underlying desire or curiosity to sleep with other people. Like, we all have it. That's why a lot of people will get married, sleep with someone else, fuck up their entire life, fuck up their families. We were just so fortunate to have done it at such a young age with so little on the table. We didn't have finances. We didn't really have families. We didn't have kids. We were able to just be as debaucherous as humanly possible and get away and still be scot-free and still be able to grow up as men and being like, sweet, well, thank you for my partner. I love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's made me kind of, you're definitely right, man. Like, it kind of got it out of your system. Do you know what I mean? And I think if I could find something that I could do that was creative, that was something similar, but not toxic, like stand-up comedy. You mentioned to me at the table, you're like, have you done stand-up yet? And I was like, no, but that's on the cards. That's really something that I want to do. But finding the time to do that, and it will bone, well with the podcast and everything like that, because that's just what I enjoy, bro.
Absolutely. You love humor, man. It's
man.
One of your core values. Like, humor and funniness is something that like oozes off you. So it's definitely something you should do.
And
that makes sense though, because it makes sense because like you love the attention from stripping, and then you've stopped that and you haven't got that attention anymore. So if you go to comedy, you're on stage again, you're getting that attention, you're the highlight. Like, that's what you want, bro. You thrive off that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, before it was, girls cheering at you, and like, or hopefully if you go through with it, hopefully if you go through with it.
Depends on what part of Auckland you're stripping in.
Not only girls.
Yeah. But like, hopefully if you go into comedy, bro, you'll thrive off the laughs that people give you.
Yeah, man, like it does, the creative side of it makes it pretty exciting as well, because writing down stuff, like the thing that I said about the police officer and then shooting someone, when we're at, when I told the joke at dinner, that was something that I...
Clear that up, eh?
No, I'm not gonna, what, repeat it?
No,
don't give away your material.
No, but what I said was, it came from... me thinking about that and going, I would put that in a routine. And it's weird, man. I get these creative stints, and it always happens really late at night. And I'll be lying in bed and I won't sleep for like 3 hours because I'll be thinking of stuff like, okay, cool, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And it was like a creative part of me that's in the zone. Weirdly enough, it's only late at night when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
A lot of people get that, yeah. But can I just say, off the record or on the record, that man, you spoke about the podcast and you brought it into fruition, and you're doing a freaking amazing job.
I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it. I like you watch every single one, bro. You're the fucking man.
Yeah. No, I haven't missed one.
Yeah. And I think it's to make it.
That's why I didn't get a dick in my face. Oh.
Bro, you keep going. I can get
Gotta watch this damn podcast.
Yeah, man. I can get my dick out for you, man, if you want, for old time's sake.
Woo!
But I don't think
charge
everyone
me?
in the Maddie's probably seen it enough, and Jared. But yeah, man, I appreciate that, man, because a lot of people had kind of doubted me. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, you're gonna do a podcast? Fuck, what are you gonna talk about?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like, but that's okay, because at the same time, it makes me happy, and it's an awesome way to creatively get to meet awesome, interesting people and establish really good relationships with these people that I find fascinating and learn a shitload. And then being able to, you know what, when I have kids, they'll be able to look back on that and look back on this conversation and go, oh, a photo can say 1,000 words, but that's actually what my dad was like. You know what I mean?
Do you know how so many people operate differently? Like for me, I'm a very systematic and processes type of guy. So that's when people ask you, why, like, what are you going to talk about? You a very intuitive person, which is the most powerful thing to have. I remember even when we used to be on stage, the music would cut off and we'd have a routine, and Kaydes would just be like, fuck it. And be like, yo, whoa, it's gotta be in sync, man. And that's the same with the podcast. You're just able to be like, sweet, fuck it, let's roll.
Just do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. So when it comes to personal development, obviously we've gone through some hard shit and good shit and fun shit, to be honest. I think I look at it with more of a negative look back on it. And I got to kind of realize as to why that is. So I need to do a bit of digging into that. Yeah. So that's something that I've kind of realized, because you're like, man, why are you talking about it like it was shit, bro? Like it was so good.
I mean, everyone's allowed to feel how they feel. It's like, I'm not projecting my experience onto you. I'm not like, man, fucking like, it should be good. Like at the end of the day,
yeah,
you know,
it's how we both felt. Jared felt differently because he was like, when I was stripping, I actually got one in my pocket. That's all good. When I was stripping, I was just like buying more shit because I had more money. Love you. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a massive spiritual development thing for him. You know what I mean? Because it was just kind of good.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I don't know what I want you to say anyway.
All right. In terms of your growth, Jared, obviously post stripping, what is your take from the experience? Like, how do you apply what you've learned into what you're doing currently?
People skills massively, man. So like learning how to speak to people, like you speak to every ethnicity, like every age, man, like just all sorts of people all over the place. And like the one thing I probably took out of it the most was how to communicate with people. And I think that's like weirdly, I think stripping's got me further in my career. Like, like legit, because like now I'm looking at like management roles at work and shit like that. And like, do I think I would have got there without it? Probably not, because I might not have had the confidence. I might not have had the ability to talk to people and communicate.
I just like to clarify. So when you say communicate, I think what you're saying is, because when you step into those environments, what a lot of people don't understand is you have to dictate the conversation. Yeah. You have to be like, all right, 100%. You need to organize this. You need to do that. You need to give me the money now. Like, and that's what, in terms of communication, it's given you the confidence to step out and be like, look, this is how it should be done.
Yeah, but not even like that as well, but like also just like you see you go somewhere and you're talking to random people that you've never met before, and you've got to communicate with them instantly, and they have to like you.
Yeah.
Like they have to like you.
Do you know who's a prime example for that? A poster boy, Aman. Look what he's done now with his real estate.
Oh, unreal. Have you seen it, bro? What he's done?
Yeah.
Number one real estate in the world. In New Zealand.
How do you feel about that? Because I look at that and I'm like, that's fucking amazing. Like we had a massive falling out because our group dynamic wasn't, I think our values all didn't align. And you and I were very similar for one reason, is we never.
That's why we got along.
It wasn't that, it was that we both had the same bro code.
Yeah.
And
values. We had the same values.
But the guy code thing, if I tell, someone about what happened with Mason, not many people will kind of understand it, but I tell you and you're like, yeah, bro, I totally get that. Because bro code was massive for us. It was like, don't dog the boys.
It's values.
It's values. It's values essentially. But Aman's doing fucking incredible, man. He's made so much money and built he's just doing so well for himself now, you know?
Yeah.
Did you see that article in the paper?
Yeah, bro. I sent him a message about it. I was like, that's insane, man. That is insane. I reckon that dude's easily cracked the mill last year.
Oh,
easy.
Minimum, bro. Like not even like, yeah.
What did he sell? He sold $150 million worth of homes?
Something like that, yeah. And literally just, crazy. What are you looking up? I thought you were just.
I was like, as soon as I got the adjustment of the camera, I was like, okay, sweet.
Yeah, that's actually funny, man.
I was trying to get comfortable. I got moved from my throne. I was like, this is my spot.
It's funny, man, because I thought you were going to type in like something. Have you ever Googled yourself, bro?
It's not start playing that game now.
Have you Googled?
No, I've not Googled myself. Oh, maybe I have. Maybe
you need to speak into the mic, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You fade in and out.
Man, every job interview, man, they Google me and stripping comes up on Google for me if you type my name in, man.
Seriously?
Yeah, bro. So a lot of people when they see if we.
That's one. You know why? This is why you have fake names.
Yeah, man.
Dumbass.
I had a fake name, man, but then I went on TV and then I found out I was a stripper.
Oh, that's just one photo. That's not that bad. That photo's right, I think.
Wait, what is it? What are you Google searching? What are you doing?
Just Googling.
Are you a photographer?
No. Yes, mate. Nah, I think it's a shoot I did with this gay dude once upon a time.
No way. Do you remember the gay dude that used to shoot us, Dion? Hey, what? Oh, bro, I'm gonna put that up here.
Oh my god!
Woo! Look at
What the fuck?
Look at that.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Look at the horns on that boy.
Yes, boy.
Yes. Woo! Bro, we were just talking about hunting before, and you're like, I don't know if you could do it, but there you're just posing with an actual dead. What is that? Is that an ox?
That's a bull.
That's a fucking South African stallion is what it
That
is.
is a bull, my friend.
Yeah, that's...
That is a good photo, man. That's steamy, eh?
I actually haven't seen that photo before.
Surely you.
No, I haven't. I didn't get sent these.
Do you-
Little seedy bastard. There it is.
Bro. Did Dion ever shoot you, bro?
Nah, he didn't. I'm kind of glad he didn't, to be honest.
You gotta say yes, eh?
Yeah, I mean, he just, his shoots were good, but it was just the same shit on different people. Yeah. Like, it was just,
Oh, you're going for spelling now. Is that what we dogging on?
this isn't pick on Shailan.
Yeah, like, damn. It's my birthday today, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday to you.
I've already said it, but we've said
Can we
it.
sing?
You can sing.
I'll do it like, what is it? Marilyn Monroe. Mr. President. Happy birthday,
Mr.
President. Do you reckon he fully fucked her, eh?
Yeah.
You 100%? Do you think that? Do you think Marilyn Monroe fucked, what's his face? JFK? And then got
I'm
assassinated?
not that into politics.
Bro, did you see, man, like his wife was on a plane after the assassination and didn't want to change her clothes because it still had his blood on her clothes, man. That is fucking loyalty, man. Like, couldn't take her clothes off because it still had her, like, after he'd been shot, like, it was still on her clothes, man. How fucking hectic is that, bro? Crazy.
I feel like I definitely want to change my clothes. What? Like, I'd want to change my clothes. I would not want my dead partner's blood on my clothes.
What would you do in that situation?
I don't know the context. So someone got shot.
So he got iced.
Okay, yeah, so so the president of
the bit.
so the president of America was doing a rally. So he was in the back of a car, like convertible,
Yeah.
But not like rally, like he was off road, like he was doing
like a presidential
Yeah,
rally,
yeah.
and he was driving through, and he got shot in the back of the head.
Shit.
Yeah, have you not seen it? Fuck.
Doesn't dabble.
It's not my thing.
So now you know what happened. Would you change your clothes?
If it was my partner,
Yeah.
how long did she go? How long did she?
Well,
keep
Kaydes
on?
was saying it was the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On a plane.
yeah.
Same day.
It was a publicity stunt. The publicist said not to change.
So this is why we don't talk about politics on the podcast.
Bro.
There's too many.
So would you change your clothes?
Nah, I wouldn't. For publicity.
That's fucked.
That's fucked. That the publicist is like, bro, keep those clothes on, man. It'll be good for you. Bro, you know how traumatic that would be as well? We're talking about traumatic experiences from stripping, bro, but being in a convertible and getting shot, man, that's fucking ruthless, bro. So yeah, so that's also a thing. But you know, like you can't fathom what that would be like. Like how do you move on from that after? You know what I mean? Like it was pretty hectic, man. It's pretty interesting if you look at it like how many shooters there would have been, and like they look at the fundamentals of the bullet and they're like, this theoretically doesn't make any sense. Like there's a big conspiracy about it.
Yeah, so it's interesting, eh? You see the they're like, this is the bullet that shot him. And like as a hunter, like I look at that and I'm like, that's not the bullet that shot him. Like that bullet that they put there is completely placed. Yeah. 100%. When you shoot a bullet and it hits on impact, they mushroom and disintegrate. Like they look like a mushroom.
What do you think shot the ball that was on Shailan's cock on that thing we just saw? What do you think that was? How do you take something that big, bro?
I think Shailan shot that thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon you shot it, and it's funny, man, because that's a big bullhead, bro. And I've seen your willy, you'll just be tucked away behind it, like just chilling there. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
See, with mine, they wouldn't even get it in the frame. No, I'm just joking. That's not true at all. You all know that, but yeah, it's yeah, fuck, man. If you Google search me, it's kind of ruined my life. Can you Google search me really quick? Look at the shit that
Gonna
comes
bring
up.
all the Zac Efron.
What do you think's going to turn up? I think.
Yeah,
My first thought would be The Bachelorette.
Yep.
The Bachelorette will be the first thing that comes up.
Look at that spelling on there, and you're giving me shit.
Here we go. Let's have a look.
I think it's gonna be the waistcoat one with the Justin Bieber looking one.
Oh, your boxing match. Ah. That is not you.
I'm on.
Oh, yeah, no, The Bachelor Australia. Holy shit. You're on IMBD. That's crazy.
What was that?
I don't even know.
The Bachelor Australia. There it is, 2019. It has got a terrible rank. But would you look at that?
What is the ranking?
What is it?
Yeah. You're down 1.2 million this week.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? How do I get it back up?
Well, I mean, the show's
just
old.
yeah.
It's not on, so no wonder.
Well, everyone that did this website can get fucked because the podcast is good. You know what I mean? Like that. Okay, what other ones are there? I want to get. This is hurting me. What else we got?
Significance declining.
So, so if you go up, there's recap of a boxing match. There's a podcast, but it's someone else's podcast. Oh, there's some photos.
There we go.
Facebook?
Oh, there's the Justin Bieber one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Zac Efron.
To be fair, that's not a bad photo of me in that suit there. I actually didn't hate that one too much.
It's not my favorite one, yeah.
Don't like it?
Yeah.
That one over there in the bottom corner. That's the one that Dion shot all those years ago, man. Can I tell you a funny story about that? So he'd have me in the pajamas, and then
I love how Zac Efron comes up. I love how Zac Efron comes up when you put in your name. That is hilarious. There's a lot of boxing ones. That's pretty cool.
Bro, funny thing, that car salesman guy is a guy called Kaydes, and everyone thought he was going to be on The Bachelorette. So he got all these messages and shit. So now, like, if you Google my name, this random car salesman guy called Kaydes comes up.
Oh, look at that. Look, dailymail.co.uk, Zac Efron wannabe, Kaydes Wilkie. On the Daily Mail, bro. You're on the Daily Mail as a Zac Efron wannabe.
To be fair, that's a very good Google search,
check
man.
that one out.
Busy. You're a busy guy.
Magic Mike night. Oh no, go down a little bit. Down a little bit. Just look. Magic Mike night.
Oh, that's
Men in uniform edition. Kaydes Magic Mike.
Well,
Look at you there, posing like Justin Bieber.
to be fair, you know what? It's funny. I look at all of those photos and stuff, and I was going to say about that one that I got the photograph with Dion. I did a photo shoot with that pajamas, right? And he wanted to get my body looking really wet, so he would spray me with a squirt bottle thing.
Yeah.
But then he couldn't get the lighting on my dick properly, bro. So, you know what he did?
Oh no.
Do you know what he did?
What did he do?
He adjusted it, bro.
With his mouth?
Might as well have. It would have been. I think I could have taken him to court because all he did was adjust my dick so much to the point where
You liked it.
this is what's strange.
You could only get blood there if you liked it.
This is what's strange. I got to see me. And it looked good in the photo. I just didn't like the circumstance. Hashtag me too.
To be fair, if we had every person who shot with him on
They would all
the
say the
podcast,
same
they would all
thing.
say the same thing. I think
He put a finger in my bum. You know the guy? Yeah, we did the shoot. Bro, this is normal. Oh, and then he put their finger in my bum. That guy. Bro. Do you remember when we got... Do you remember when we did New Zealand strip search on the radio? And you didn't get in because the judges knew you, bro?
I don't remember the circumstance.
So there was a ZM strip search. So
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
right, because I was working with JJ and Dom from The Edge, and I was like their token stripper every time they needed me to do shit. So I got to the point where I like stripped in a beer keeper's outfit on the radio for like all the staff. It was hell weird. So they did the thing on ZM. Right. And then it was myself, Aman, and two guys that got picked for this thing.
Yeah.
But because you knew Howard and you were like, what up, Howard? How are you going? They're like, oh, we can't really get someone that knows someone in the... Because you would have done that as well, man.
Nah, it wasn't because
Did you end up doing it anyway?
That's not why I didn't do it. It was because Jared and I did our first Topless waitering gig together, and that was through Strip of Meat. And we ended up working there full time. Remember, they kept us on, and it sort of cut their business. So, and it was through Strip of Meat. They were the sponsors or some shit.
I fully forgot about them.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't get in. It's because Dion or Christian in the background flipped his shit, and he's like, nah, not that guy.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
that's why that happened, yeah.
Can I tell you something interesting that I don't think I've ever told you guys about how I got into stripping? So when Magic Mike came out, I was like, fuck, I could do this, man. I could do this. And then my cousin Shailan was like, she was pretty brutal. She's like, yeah, maybe if you put on some weight, shaved your legs, got a tan, fixed your teeth, got a haircut, like just was like grilling me. I was like, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway. So I would go to a gay bar called The Court with my mate, Mitchell. Fucking remember Mitchell?
Yeah, I remember that dude, yeah.
The guy you lived with.
Yeah, the guy we lived with.
Yeah.
Ugh. But anyway, so I was with him. Yeah, he was a clown, bro. So I lived with him, and we went to this gay bar, and we cut out the shirts from stripping, right? We cut out the top thing. And then we'd take a shirt off, a white shirt from Kmart, and we'd attach a bow tie and then the two cuffs, right? Go to the gay bar and tell girls we had just come from work, bro. And we would just go to the gay bar with no shirts and pretended like we were strippers, man.
Wow.
Until it got to the point where we'd bring waistcoats and we'd take the waistcoats off and we'd pick up girls, and because we just thought we were too skinny to do it.
Yeah.
So then what happened is I moved to New Zealand and everyone's like, oh, you're a stripper now. And I was like, yeah, like fake it till I make it.
Yeah.
And this guy came up to me in a bar and he's like, bro, have you ever thought about doing stripping before? I was like, yeah. And he was like, call this number. And then that was fucking MJ, bro.
Wow.
So that's how I started, man. I fully faked it until I made it, man.
So, yeah, I didn't realize that you'd I thought you were in Aussie actually stripping. Yeah, so I thought you were in Aussie stripping and then you came back. And I remember the night, was at Ferg's, actually. And there was like a bit of a, you know how they had like a lowered dance floor?
Oh, good times.
Yeah, and I remember just one day it was just like there was just like a dance off. And no shit, I think you pulled off the worm and then pretended to do some Magic Mike shit. And that was how it all, and then that's how it came up to you, eh? Yeah.
100%, man. And that's how it all started. So my first gig was at the Westie Riders Club, bro, in South Auckland.
Wow.
So my first gig was at a fucking bikie bar for all these bikies' wives, bro. So I didn't know I could even do, I didn't even know I could do stripping. So I was like, bro, I'm going to go out there and they're going to realize I'm like 14 kilograms. And I looked young then, bro.
Yeah.
I looked so young.
still do.
How old were you?
Yeah, I still look young, hey?
How old were you?
Hello?
21? Were you like 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I look like a baby. Like I like to think that maybe I've look a little older since the last time we've seen each other. But
Yeah.
You're still 17.
yeah, I've got a baby
at
face.
heart, yeah.
But anyway, so I thought that I was just gonna bomb. So I went out, and it was the first time it was a SWAT team show, and it was a song. I got the hottest chick in the game, wearing my chain. She's bad girl, and like I came out with this gun, and I'm like pointing it at the girls, but it's not a part where they start screaming. They're just kind of looking at me like, what the fuck? So I went out and then turn on the lights off, down.
I remember that city. It was fire.
Take off the shoes, and I do the routine, and I started to get a response. I was like, holy fuck, this is working, man. And then I finished with Justin Bieber, you're all that matters to me. Yeah. That was and I nailed it. And then there was like lap dancing upstairs, and it was just so scary, man, because all the guys were bikies. So they were out the front of the club while all their wives are getting grinded on by us, essentially. It was fucking scary, man. I think it was it was gnarly, man. It was a motorcycle club.
Do you know that I had said to my parents, I could have been 16 or 17, and I looked my dad in the eyes, because I'd already heard of like Men of Steel.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be a stripper. And he's like, yeah, son, you should do that.
Really?
It fucking happened. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I remember I told you from the beginning, I always was into females. Like, because of my cousins, I just had that chip on my shoulder when it came to females.
Same thing. I had older cousins that were Wes, my older cousin, used to just fucking do so much damage, and I wanted to be like him. So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Whereas you were like, fuck yeah, $20. And you were actually good at topless waitering. We were fucking trash. We used to get like complaints and shit.
No.
You were rubbish.
Shailan was mean at it. Because I remember when we were working, and then like I remember it was like a buffet. It was like a buffet. It was like a drag show, and then they had like a buffet dinner and shit. And Shailan was able to stack these plates like no one's business, bro. And he made me look bad.
But they loved you, bro. And you always ended up doing like the ones for like the gay dudes and shit.
No, but they loved him as well. Like,
but Jared was like the gay guy's stripper. I don't know how he fell into that, but you got like a permanent gig almost at that one place, didn't you?
Yeah. It was like, And then I fucked it up because I would sleep in and miss the night. Like, I just wouldn't turn up. Like, I'd wake up at 10 o'clock at night and then just be like, oh, fuck, I was meant to start work like 4 hours ago.
Oh, fuck
yeah.
But no, I actually was the bar manager prior. Like, did that before I got into stripping. So it was like second nature to me. Like,
so working in the like
customer
restaurant
service,
and shit
customer
was just
service
like,
shit was like, even now, customer service is like my forte.
Do you remember working at BDL together?
Oh, yeah.
oh, was that when you were selling the?
Yeah.
That looked like a grindy job, man.
That was hardcore. He was real good at it. We were on our way out. We had another mate who was also a stripper who was there, and we took the person.
That sounded like a horrible job.
Yeah, Howard was there. It was, nah.
That sounded like a horrible job. It sounded like you just rip people off for a living.
It was.
Morally, it was fucked.
Yeah.
How about a risk-free trial when we send Lorraine a fucking massage chair? Don't worry, you'll get your $15 risk-free trial back. All you have to do is just put it back in the box where it came from and then send it back, which is $500 in freight. Fuck you. Bro, the customer service place, we used to work at a space where we used to sell products
Probably
on
should have
TV.
mentioned names.
Yeah.
Just destroying
Buy one,
businesses,
get one free. If you're in
podcast that fucks people over.
I forgot you were there. Buy one, get one free, right?
Everyone knows.
Everyone gets one for free. You're not one of the first 50 callers. You're not special, okay? Everyone did it. And that's what we did. And then we would send shit that people didn't need. So, like, I'm going to break it down. So, what was it? Nutri-Infusions? Nutri-Bullets? Nutri-Infusions, because he cut out the fucking middleman. He was like, fuck Nutri-Bullet. This is the Nutri-Infusion and it's different. Dumbass didn't fucking patent it or something 15 different ways.
Yeah.
It was the exact same thing. Cut out the middleman. Bro, would sell buy one, get two free. The fuck needs 3 blenders? No one fucking makes that much fruit. I don't have enough fruit in my house for 3 fucking blenders. Not only that, you're paying $350 from it, you dumb cunt. I can't fucking...
So you buy one, get one free.
Practically. I'm sure we got that far, wasn't it?
Start
Like,
again. So you buy one, get 2 free. How much was one?
I don't know. I never sold one because everyone's just kidding. One free. I never sold one, bro.
Nah, what do you mean? As how much
So
it cost to make?
Yeah, so it was like
honestly?
buy one for $300
Yeah.
and get two free.
Yeah.
So the value of $300.
It cost them.
But you're selling it for $300 anyway?
Yeah. So it would cost them, from what I remember, someone saying it cost something like, it was like 20, could have been like 35, $40 to make.
And you're selling them for $300.
Yeah. Because it was Asian imported cups, and it was, I can't really remember that, but it was something below. It was below $100 to make one.
Sounds like someone fucked up and was like, okay, let's order 1,000 of these. And they accidentally ordered 10,000. They're like, oh, fuck, how are we going to move these?
Yeah. What was her name again? The lady?
Oh, Suzanne Paul?
Suzanne Paul, man, and Paul Meyer.
I don't believe you're roasting this company.
Right, at the end of the day, man, like, I wasn't Devo about it, right? I'm probably going to get sued for it, but I don't care. So what I find interesting is the guy had the hustle. He created something that was a license to print money.
Yeah.
So he came up with a scheme of double your pay, but you had to sell $8,000 worth of products every single day. And the better you were at selling, the better products you got. So you could sell a power fit for $1,000, which is a vibrating platform. And it was cool because I'm still on TV for the massage chair ads to this day.
Wow.
You know, people say, bro, I saw you on TV at like 3 a.m. Sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what was really interesting about that place is the customer complaints that would be fucked, man, because getting products back that were inherently pretty shit, and then getting them back. Like, can you imagine being in the customer support? I heard a call where a guy was flipping off his nut, bro, because he couldn't get his fucking blender working or something.
Yeah.
He threatened one of the guys by saying he was going to put an RPG up his asshole, bro. I'm going to chuck a rocket up your ass. Like,
Mate, there were some gnarly stories of those things exploding because they were just so cheaply made.
Yeah.
It was nuts. It was nuts.
he wasn't going to say anything. He was just startled. I was taking a look at it.
Like exploding, like NutriBullets and shit exploding was anyway.
Exploding with goodness.
I don't like running businesses into the ground.
I
I actually
do.
have a real funny story off that place, which is probably one of my most embarrassing stories that had ever happened.
Oh, is this the one in the pool?
Nah, that was one of them. It was like a conjunction to that. So this place was so fucking rubbish, right? And I hated working there. We all did. So we looked for all different ways to get out of work. And completely taking the absolute piss. Like,
this is so funny.
man, it was so bad. And so what had happened was I was late consecutively, like fucking all the time. And there came a point where I
We lived together when you were always we lived together when you were always late.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be at work. I'd be like, "Where the fuck are you?"
they're getting on the piss while I'm like got a suit on. I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go to work. Like they're all fucking mega days. But anyway, what had happened was I was late 2 days in a row, and it was one more day, and I just happened to be fucking late again. And I was having issues with my car or my license. I can't remember what it was, but I told him that I was busing to work. So what had happened was I got to work late, and for the third time in the row, and I came up the elevator, and Sandy was standing there, was the manager at the time, and she's standing there tapping her foot, and she's like, "Late again?" And I was like, I just full went into, I don't know what the fuck came over me, but I was like, "Look, Sandy." I was like, I fucking took 3 buses to get here. Like, I'm really busting my balls. I'm sick of your shit. Like, just like, honestly, like, I went in so hard.
Just full gaslighting her.
I fully
Like,
gaslighted her. So what happened was, so she went, "Oh, all right, well, let's go see if we can find your bus route next time." So we walk on over. I'm like, "Yeah, fucking show you." Put my shit down, like getting ready to check in. I'm fucking so late. And anyway, the general manager, Jerry, comes walking over and he goes, "Shailan checked in late again." And she's like, yeah, bus. So anyway, Jerry comes over to me. He's like, "Shailan, come here." Sandy pulls me over. He's like, "Heard you were late because of the bus." I was like, "Yeah, Jerry, yeah." He's like, "How come I seen you pull up in your car?" Walked over to the dairy, got a pie, and then walked in. Bro, in front of us, Sandy's face was like, I looked at her. Bro, I looked over at her and I fucking wish the floor would just swallow me alive. I was like,
You were such a piece of shit.
oh, bro, I sat at my desk like,
I remember once he told us he couldn't make it because he was sick or something like that. And then he put a photo up on Facebook, popped up on Shailan, and he's in a fucking pool with his sunnies on, like partying in the middle of the day.
On Waikiki Island.
Bro.
Oh, so, and it could have been after that. We were sitting in a disciplinary meeting, funny enough. We were sitting in a fucking disciplinary meeting. But it could have been something similar. So Jerry's across the fucking table. I'm sitting having this meeting.
Yeah.
And we're having this discussion, and I'm fucking yarning as per usual. And Jerry goes, just off the record, you said this X date you were, you had heat stroke, right? He's like, was it because of this? And it was the same date I called in sick, and I'm sitting on a fucking donut. But he's like, he goes, that was just off the record though. Fuck you, Jerry. Like, piece of shit.
Oh, man.
Bro, it was
Jerry,
gnarly.
I think I remember Jerry, bro.
It was fucking...
That was a weird time in our lives, man, because we lived together as well in that house. And then you were at that job for a bit. Now, I took the job pretty seriously until they had a repeated... Like, bro, it turned into a chop shop. Yeah. So, when it used to dial out, right? So you'd be on the phone and you'd be speaking to people that made an inquiry. So then they put it on a roster where it was continuously going. So you didn't get a chance. And then they would read how long you were at your desk for. You had 45 minutes. If you were like a minute over your break, and you had like a morning tea and then a lunchtime. And then you sat down on the chair and it would dial out automatically for you. So you couldn't take a break between phone calls. And that's when I was like, nah.
Yeah, how did you exit that? Like, what happened?
Oh, bro, in spectacular fashion, as always.
So what?
I handed my two.
So they were like timing, like timing your lunch breaks and like
It was just
timing your toilet breaks and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's all on a computer. So you have to stop it and start it, and then it'll dial out by itself. It was an automated system.
Okay,
would know if you're there or not because it's dialing, and if it's inactive, because if you leave, you'd have to pause it. Otherwise, it'll call right through to another customer, and then it would like have a set time of you being away. Every time you pause it, they would know when the computer screen was paused.
That's kind of scary. So if like they knew how long your shits were and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were timing how long you were in the toilet and
they just knew how long it was paused. Yeah. Like if you paused it and they didn't care where the fuck you went. If it was
I bet you they did. I bet you they cared. Like they were like they would have been like, Shailan's been away at his bench for an hour today, like over 5 like.
Why is he taking a half an hour shit after he's 10 minutes late? Shailan's a fucking dog.
Mate, have you ever had an embarrassing situation like that? Have you ever had an embarrassing moment where you just like
where you got caught out lying?
Fuck, that was gnarly, bro. Can we just like
that is so bad.
That was like I was like, Jerry, you could have just like pulled me aside and been like, look, mate, you're lying. Call me out like that in front of the person. That was just savage. That's like his boss move. Like, yeah. I obviously I learned to never ever lie to like that ever again. I swear to God, I've never lied outright like that. I learned my lesson.
Right. I have had that happen. Oh fuck. So I used to date another woman, and I wasn't always in the relationship.
We were there, we know.
But I'm in a very happy relationship, and I'm a very loyal man nowadays because I've grown up. But back then, no. So what happened was I did a show with you, and it was 3 hours away. It was Miss Ribena or something.
Yeah.
And I went and did this show, and my girlfriend turned to me and she goes, someone had told me that you were up there with Shailan and you got with someone up there. And I fucking could have won an Oscar, mate. I was like, how dare you? Like, accuse me of something like that. Just like proper toxic, bro. And she's like, okay, all right. Explain this. And then there was a Facebook post of a girl posted on Facebook. I just sucked at the Zac Efron stripper dude's dick from fucking like Wolfpack. I was like, no, bro. Like I defended myself like to the end, bro.
I still defended you too, but that was he said, she said. You weren't caught out right though.
Bro, it was a Facebook post, man.
I know it was. I remember that.
That was caught out right, and after that, I was like, oh fuck, like it was so bad, bro. But I mean that wouldn't happen now. If I didn't have that happen then, and the embarrassment, it wouldn't happen now.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. We all need to go through those periods where it's almost shameful.
It is shameful, man. You know, to say that in front of my girlfriend as well, man. You know, like it is pretty hard to admit that shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would rather be transparent about this.
Absolutely.
And see the light and make a joke about it rather than anything else.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean? Because then that's just that to me is being disloyal anyway.
Yeah, and I don't think it's the disloyalty. I find with a lot of people was if they keep shit in, it becomes shame, and that's when it eats you alive. And if someone finds out about it, they can use it in future. But if you're like, fuck, man, I was a piece of shit. Like, you know, you wear it on your sleeve, man. You know what I mean? It's you've forgiven yourself for being that. You understand what happened. You've forgiven yourself, and you move on from it. That's how you actually deal with trauma. But if you hold it to yourself and are like shameful to speak about it, you're fucked.
Have you had anything happen like that? Anything that you've been caught out lying?
Yeah.
Just tell us, go.
No, I don't want to talk about
Oh,
You can't. We just said embarrassing things.
No, but I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
Great
guest.
No, it's just one of those things I'd rather not talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell us off?
No, I'd rather not.
Yeah. Okay. So what about something that's like funny? It doesn't have to be like you got caught out doing something bad. Like something that's actually like you've been caught out lying and then it was actually quite funny.
I've been trying to think about it while you've been talking about this shit, but I can't think of anything.
Yeah. I remember you did something that was so funny, man, because you owned it. Like I would have defended it back then. We were on the piss with my stepdad in Brisbane, and Jared was having a fucking like yarn with Richard, and he was like, you know what? At work, I had some fridges at work, and then I fixed one of the fridges, and my boss pulled me aside, and he was like, you know what, Jared, that's really smart of you doing that. I'm going to give you another 50 cents an hour. And I like full believed the story, and I was like, no way. And then I asked Jared about it 2 years later. I was like, do you remember when you told us you got that raise for like fixing a fridge? And Jared looked me dead in the eyes. He was like, did I say that? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I was probably just talking shit. I was like, oh, fair enough, bro. Like I would have been like, no, man. Like, yeah, that did happen. Like, he was just like, nah, I was lying, bro. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the stories I tell people about you. I was just like, he was just so cool when he did that. You know what I mean? It was like a pretty cool thing. But, you know, so when it comes to like one thing I actually did want to dive in, because we've been going on for about time. We'll go for like another 15. After having all of that and not having that being a part of you anymore, right? So all of our bad trauma, all of our bad history and everything that's kind of changed. So you did bodybuilding, you became a fitness model, and you kind of did the stripping. You made it work for you. You got out of it because you were like, this isn't fulfilling me personally. And like even little things like the mannerisms that you have, and you'll if you have an opinion on something, you'll say it. You've always been like that, you know, which is one thing that I do admire, as well as like little things like pray before we eat, because it's a part of my routine, and getting rid of guards and being more comfortable around each other and stuff like that. Like the amount of change that has happened over that period of time is fucking phenomenal, man. Like, so no, it actually is. Even like just how much has gone down. So what do you think your life now, are you just genuinely happier?
Of course, mate. Like if we discuss my now current values, one thing I realize, one thing that really is close to me is growth. As long as, and that's any human, is that as long as we are growth equals happiness. So, and that's one thing I got asked for my birthday is like, what do you wish for your 28th? What do you, for this next year? It's just continuous growth. So, am I genuine? I've always been a really happy person, man. Like cause I'm able to understand where I am, understand what it takes to get where I'm going. Therefore, I'm continuously growing in whatever I'm doing, whether that's, like you said, mannerisms, whether it's career. I continuously set those processes in place that we mentioned in the beginning. So I'm always a new person to who I used to be, which for me is constant happiness. So I am the happiest I've ever been at this current time than I've ever been.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like hey, one of the cameras is. That's all right. Well, yeah, one thing I was going to ask though, because it's something that I struggle with. Do you ever get the feeling that you kind of go, fuck, why am I not here? Do you ever look ahead and go, I'm here? My partner will always tell me I never smell the roses. So I'll make like a really big achievement and I'll be like, okay. And then I will just disregard it.
Yeah.
And then go, okay, why the fuck am I not at this point? And then I will bury myself for it, bro, where it actually puts me into depression.
Yeah.
Do you ever get that?
It's funny you say that, man, because beginning of the year, it's a lot of what I've been going through this particular year, because I always find seasons, right? And I highlight what area I'm working on. One thing that really resonated towards the end of last year, after I helped like people lose 300 kgs in 6 weeks, it was like 52 people, 300 kgs amongst them, right? And that was just simply due to putting those processes in place. So I'd achieved all of that, and I've achieved a lot of different things in my life. And it's funny, I had this friend of mine at the time ask me, like, how does that make you feel? And I was like, man, I'm looking at the next. I'm like, all right, how do we make that?
How do we make that 400?
Yeah, how do we make that 1,000? That's where my mind is. And I was like, to me, that seemed pretty normal until my client, best friend, bought me a book called The Power of Now. And that basically helps you conceptualize your mind and how us as human beings very rarely live in the present. Quite often, a lot of people live in the past. That's what leads to a lot of depression, because you're running in that cycle of the past. People like us, though, we think about the future. We're constantly looking ahead and we're trying to chase that next big shiny thing. And it's very rare that people find the now and find the appreciation in what they're doing and what they have around them. See, what we need to understand is that tomorrow is always going to be now. Does that make sense? Like it's when you get there, it's going to be now. So you need to, it took a lot of understanding. So I find whenever you try and understand, because you obviously realizing that, man, there's something that's not coherently right in me, right? So once you understand that, then it's seeking to understand why that's a thing. And it's funny you say that, because I was that person, and I still am to some degree, but it takes a lot of understanding, but then also implementing gratitude. Like you need to be journaling and being able to be like, look back and see the things you achieved and actually start intentionally being grateful for them. Because if you're constantly just like, meh, if you shrug it off, you're going to underplay what you just did. And it was big. And even though it might seem micro in the time, when you look back at the stuff you've achieved, our entire search of Google, man, you've done some gnarly things, man. You've done some really, really cool shit, that not a lot of people have done. And you need to actually thank yourself for it. You need to step out of your inner being and be like, man, like, I don't know if you've seen this real silly post I put up the other day. It was real, but if you think about it, what I said was, I put a post up of me in a video, and I said, I am proud of you, boy, like for the man you're becoming. Talking to myself in like third person. And that's how you need to talk to yourself, man. Like, man, that was a good thing. Like, wow, you're actually being generous, man. You're being a good dude, and that's how we should see life. And actually, but one thing I'd suggest is do some research on why that is and read The Power of Now. I'll actually I'll give you that book.
Yeah. Because I've just finished Power of the Superior Man. Have you read that? You read that book?
I haven't read it now.
Okay. No. So I do need a reading book, but it's interesting that you said about journaling, man. Like that's apparently really powerful.
Wow,
journaling, bro.
That is like my superpower, dude. And
it
causes a lot of transformation for a lot of my clients. Because another thing you need to understand is that your brain, from what we understand, is there for creation. It's not meant for storage. People's like, my brain stores. It's just for creation. Yeah. It's up to you to capture the thoughts that it creates. So I think on average, I think you made a speech and it was like your brain thinks 35,000 things or something in a day. Yep. You get 35,000 decisions in a day that you make. That's what your brain does. So it's up to you to intentionally capture the thoughts. So if you have an idea of a business, something, write it down. You need to write it down. But that goes the same with appreciation of people and things, journaling. So what are you grateful for? Write it down. Because one day when you're feeling a particular way, you can go back to how you were feeling on that day. So it's capturing that thoughts. That's what journaling is. So I'll also give you 5 prompts that I use with a lot of my clients that will make the journaling.
Yeah, I'd like to give that a crack, and then maybe on the next podcast that I do, I'll just go, yeah, well, this has helped. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's gnarly.
Yeah.
So even like I do gratitudes and I also do affirmations. And affirmations is just a different beast. So it's like what do you ring true for yourself? Like, I am charismatic. I am, or it doesn't have to be something that you are now, but something that you potentially like to be. Like, I am a good dad. And what I do is before I go into heavy meetings or anything like that, I go over my affirmations and I just read those, like journal after journal. I'm like, man, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Is that something that you would ever do? Do you journal?
Nah, this is so out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so black and white. Like I am, like a spade's a spade, eh? Like, and like just going through like the affirmations and stuff like that. That's just something that just doesn't even come through my mind. But like, I wouldn't say
be opposed.
Yeah, well, I'm not opposed to it, but it's also
there's a lot of shit that you say you probably wouldn't do and then ended up doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you never know with you.
Yeah, he's not saying no.
Yeah, I'm not saying no, but it's also not for me. Like I know, like I'm not trying to offend you or anything, but it's just like
I'd never get offended.
Yeah, like it's just like I just couldn't do that. Like, and I think it's just like I'm too like I don't know what it is. I just can't.
So I've coached hundreds of people through this. I've coached hundreds, and trust me, it's not something. And this is when I started. I really wanted to dive into this topic a little bit more. We obviously jumped straight into it in the beginning, and which is very fresh. But ultimately, there's a lot of things, as Kate mentioned, that you hadn't done before for stripping. E.g., you would have never done stripping before. You like stuff that's out of my comfort zone. That's not what I do. But you just admitted that it was probably one of the most groundbreaking things you've ever done.
By far.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is the same with personal development. And this is why I don't particularly label myself as a personal development coach, especially in New Zealand, because it's so far behind, because it's such a, I'm sure you didn't really know what that is in terms of like journaling. It's like, what? I wouldn't do that. And I know what it's done in my life. So I'm really trying to create a format that is for people like you that will start finding a eco-friendly way to indulge in the content without it being shocking, where you're like, man, I have to write in this book every day. Like, I really want to just bring that out naturally.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool because like you see the people that do that and they generally look like they're loving life. I think I'm just too much like a Kiwi farmer, and it's just, I just can't break out that normal. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I think Maddie, my girlfriend, my partner, she describes me the best. I've only got like 5 emotions. And like 90%.
Happy, horny, sleepy.
But like 90% of the time, she says I'm just content. I think it's just my personality. I'm too relaxed.
Yeah, and I guess it goes with your values as well. It coincides with your values. Like some people, growth is also one of your, you know what I mean? Like significance and growth, those are things that go sort of hand in hand. And people who want to achieve at that high level, unfortunately, have to dig into a basket and unravel a lot of things. Whereas, like you said, you're very content in your lifestyle, what you do. So therefore, seeking more isn't necessarily. It's not on the cards. It's not even a priority.
Well, that's not true because like I mean, I'm 27 years old now, and in terms of my job, like I'm seeking to be I'm seeking to be like I want to be the factory foreman. I want to be telling the guys what to do and shit like that.
Mate.
Yeah, and like I'm already on the stepping stones to becoming that way. So like
then you can definitely want to jump on something. Then if that is what you want to do, you have to.
Why?
Because you need to, with affirmations, like gratitude is something that for Kate, as we mentioned, it's being able to put into perspective what you have and what you think you have. Affirmations for you, it's more of it's a confidence builder. So if you're stepping in front of, say, everyone who goes into a leadership role falls into some sort of imposter syndrome, like, am I able to do this? Like, who am I to deserve this?
I never think like that.
You don't?
Never.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you get, as you scale, trust me, you start stepping into boardrooms where people are way more qualified. And I'm not saying that's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you need to, once you dive into it, you'll start to understand.
Like imposter syndrome kind of thing.
Imposter
like,
syndrome
why am
is
I
one
here?
of them. Yeah, why you're there and why am I capable? And everyone's going to have those days, no matter how good and talented you are. You could be the best podcaster. Eventually, you're going to scale to a point where you're sitting next to Logan Paul and shit. You know what I mean? And you're going to walk in there and you're going to be like, fuck, dude. Like,
these guys are on another level type shit.
Yeah. And you're going to start, it's going to creep in at some, we all suffer those demons. We all have internal demons that tell us we can't do this, we can't do that, we're not enough. This is why you need to start diving into those things. And it accelerates. So it'll accelerate you over a period of time. And that's the change you see in me, is because I do these practices. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I just don't think that's me.
Yeah. So the same thing with it's like a fat chick with diets, right? They can be like, that's not me. Like, I'm not going to count calories. It's not for me. But there's benefit in it for them, right?
Yeah, but that's also like science.
Yeah. And this science works the same with progressional growth. Science works the same. The same thing when you apply these things is the same way you'll apply calories to a fat guy.
Why'd you point at me?
It was a roll forward in that way.
I get it. I'll put on a little weight.
Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, it does make sense, but it's just like I don't think I definitely think everyone can be better.
Mm-hmm. So what are you doing to intentionally get better besides just doing because yes, you're doing the hard labor at work, right? What else are you doing to intentionally get better?
Just like learning to bring people together. Mm-hmm. Like from what I've been like over the last year, I've been trying to figure out like how can I get this person and that person to work together? They might not like each other, but like learning to do that, and then also trying to lift other people's mood. Like,
and how do you lift up your mood?
His moods. I've known you for a long time, and your mood is pretty stable.
Yeah.
You don't. My cousin Dane's the same. I don't think I've ever seen him in a bad mood. It's some people.
So the thing is,
I think I'm just one of those.
If you're trying to lift someone's mood, means you need to understand moods. You need to understand what triggers your mood, and what if you stay like Maddie said, you stay pretty steady, right?
Yeah.
You then need to if you stay steady and you don't really dive into emotions, how are you going to teach someone else? Be like, yo, you're actually really flat. But I've never actually done anything mood related.
Oh, like don't get like
like can you just cheer up? Like can you just like smile, dude?
Smile.
Smile.
What's wrong? Are you hungry?
Happy, hungry, horny. Like which one are you? Like how do we switch your emotion?
Like just because I'm like content doesn't mean that my mood doesn't change. So like I can definitely get frustrated, angry. I don't know. Like,
so what do you do to intentionally change it?
Yeah, that's probably true. I think.
Everybody else around you can have their mood and understand themselves. Like you read me like a book. Like
I feel like Maddie needs the mic right now. Wait. You need to. I think. Can we give Maddie a mic and say that again? Come here.
He's calling him back up.
Yeah, but shit, no one can hear her, right? No one will be able to hear her. So here we go. Everybody, this is Maddie. This is my beautiful partner.
So Jared is a stable person. He does not change his mood. He is stable, so everyone around him can understand and feel their own emotions. And Jared being a pillar of stability with everyone else means that they get to feel frustrated, and then he can come to them with a proper solution and ideas on how they can better whatever's going on. So in the home especially, I don't quite know what Jared's like at work, but in the home, I have majority of the moods between the two of us. My emotions are vast and they are wide.
Kaydes' household is different.
But Jared...
It's a complete opposite. It is a complete opposite.
I like come home and I'm like, I'm into something new now. Like, she's like, fuck. I came on the other day. I was like, I just invested $30,000 into a company called Solana. She's like, okay, bro, whatever, man. Like,
oh, don't get me wrong. Jared also does that. He tried to dabble in Bitcoin for a hot minute.
Did you?
Yeah, I fucked up. I got scammed.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He does try new things.
I lost money hard.
Jared's growth is okay.
How much?
I lost $1,000. Yeah. Rough.
But he was okay. Jared was not the most devastated person about this. He realised what he did wrong. He realised where he could change or research a little bit better, and he could dive into it more. And then he goes, okay, I know for next time. And he literally just moves on. Jared, the idea of Jared journaling, to me, I'm like, this is just, for me, I would journal. Jared could never see the guy journaling because he literally doesn't
I would literally
not
be
understand
like,
his own emotions.
I'd be like,
that way.
today I made a brisket. My friend, like my friends came around, and then we did a podcast. Like that would be my journal. I felt happy that I was with my friends. Like that would be my journal.
So I have said this a couple of times to Jared. When he saw Kaydes,
You all good there?
no, when Jared saw Kaydes jump out the car, the first look on his face, terror. Genuine fucking terror. And I think in that 10 seconds, I saw about 3 or 4 different emotions from Jared. That's 2 weeks worth of emotions for the guy. All in the space of 10 seconds. That is a lot coming from him. But otherwise, he was happy, terrified, very confused, also slightly perverted because he was like, why the fuck is there a penis coming out of the back of the car?
Yeah, I think we won't talk about this now. We'll talk about it on the other podcast.
But that's Jared in a nutshell. So I don't know how much journaling or gratitude or affirmations would work for him because he literally is grateful for his life. He understands that, but he doesn't have to dive into it because the big wild swing of emotions and getting down in the dumps is not like him. He is such a stable person, so everybody else can feel what they need to feel. He then provides stability to bring people either back up to where they need to be or ground them to have a look at what they're doing, which is exactly my favourite thing about him.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Thank you, Maddie.
Thanks, Maddie.
Thank
That
you.
was well.
So,
well spoken.
like Maddie said, because I'm so stable with my emotions that I can lift people's emotions because people can't see mine.
How did you lose $1,000? Like,
So you would have, I'm sure you would have seen by now. This was a while ago. I first saw this. Must have been the first one. So you would have seen someone post on Bitcoin being on Instagram saying I've invested with Bitcoin and gone through this person like a broker almost, and they've paid me all this money. And so this was a guy I went and did my very first recruit firefighting course that I went on. I met him. That's how I met the guy, Edward, right? Ed, and he his Instagram was just hunting, farming, rugby. That was his Instagram, just like a real Waikato. Not where was he from? Thames. He was just real central. That was his life, And then out of nowhere, posted I made 10 grand on Bitcoin investing through this person. So I messaged him and I was like, "Yo, man, what the fuck? How is this true?" And he's like, "Yeah, bro, legit." Talking to him, and
someone else.
Yeah. Let me get there. So he was like, yeah, so I was talking to them and invested in this, and I just invested with him. So anyway, I hit up this chick that he recommended to get in contact with, went on their website, full legit website and stuff like that, looked on it, it all looked pretty legit and shit. And then, you look it up, I was trying to be okay, is this legit? Looking up, Google said it was a safe website and this and that. And then, she this girl that I was messaging on Instagram walked me through what to do. And then, it seems legit. You sign up, you get an account, you log in, and then you buy Bitcoin, and then you transfer it over. And then, what was weird, this is where it got really weird, is you transfer the money over, and it's not just got your money later. They're still talking to you and shit like this. And then so you're like, oh, okay, cool. Weeks gone past and you can see you see your gains and you're like, fuck yeah, this is wicked. And then all of a sudden it's you've reached the because I invested 1,000 New Zealand dollars, which was I think about eight. But I think by the time you do the currency exchange and then when you buy and sell Bitcoin and transfer it ended up being about $800 US roughly. Anyway, so you get to the point where it's like you've made so much money, and then it's like, oh, you've capped out your spending limit. So like you invest X amount, you can only gain X amount. If you want to get more, you've got to invest. You've got to spend more money. And then at this point, I was like, this seems real fishy. Like something's not right. And I was messaging this Eleanor chick, and she was like, oh no, you've just got to keep on investing. And then like you go through her Instagram and shit, and it seemed fully legit. She's posting photos, making stories and shit like this. It was a deep scam. And then I was like, oh, this doesn't seem right. And then all of a sudden, like you look up the website, gone. Website's gone. So I message her, and she's like, oh, the website's changed name. It's now this. And I'm like, why the fuck didn't I get an email saying that the website's changed name or anything like that? So I was like, still kind of fishy. And then out of nowhere, another friend of mine on Instagram, same thing. I invested so much money with this person, and they got me, they turned $1,000 into like 50 grand. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, this is just a scam that's going around. So I got scammed hard. And then more people. Then I see more of this shit happening over and over again. But I mean, this was a wee while ago.
You do Bitcoin though, didn't you? Do you do Bitcoin? Yeah. Is it a case of just not going the full route and like investing? Like, because obviously
I kind of swing trade. So I invested eventually. I think it was $8,000. When it was in the high. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Everyone's talking about it. So then Bitcoin had a crash. I think it was like 2 years ago. And then I was down to about $3,000 or something. I was like, fuck, because I'd bought in when the market was really hot. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting. I'm like, fuck, man, like that's just a bit of savings gone. I can't do that, man. So then recently they had another crash, smashed. So I invested another 30 grand on really trustworthy coins. So what I did is I would look for an average on, let's say Solana was around like 38 I bought in. Okay, so like 38 and maybe 42, like 138, 140 or 132. And then I was looking on the average on where it usually chills. So it like chill on a good day at around like maybe 45 or something like that. So that's enough to make, if you're investing 20 grand into it, it's enough to make a small little gains. And then because you bought it so low, it's not really going backwards, and it's unlikely that it's going to crash. But when it has a massive pump, bro, it fucking pumps, man. And I made all of that money back plus some. So I probably made about $17,500 off investing.
Yeah.
I just knew when to buy in, and I got the feeling, I was like, it looks like it's crashing. It's about to go down. Pulled all my money out, put it in the bank, and wait for the next time to buy in at a low price.
So with Jared's circumstance, would you say you just pulled up? You just didn't know
you
what
went.
he was
You
doing
went down the
out.
easy route. So you kind of took a shortcut. You know, when you should be learning about it yourself and make your own mistakes.
So what happened with me was just like someone was saying, I'll invest your money and I'll turn your $1,000 into $10,000.
Yeah.
They were never going to do that. They were just fucking taking your money and running.
Could be very highly.
That's
very
exactly,
highly likely.
That's exactly what happened, because like I saw the same scam pop up on other. And so my mate Rhys, so a good friend of mine, Rhys, he actually lost his Instagram.
He scammed me, Rhys. Rhys fucking scammed me, bro.
Look in the camera and tell him.
You scammed me, bro. You used my Tinder profile with my photos to get dates, and then you fucking were like, oh, no, my name's actually Rhys. I'm not actually Kaydes Wilkie. Ha. What a mix-up. Bro, people were like walking up to me in malls for like 2 weeks after, man, asking, like, he was so funny because I asked him to have sex with me over pizza. Like, he banged like 2 girls out of it, man. It was
good, man.
All right, well, I think the camera... Yeah, I think the camera's about to fuck out, so I think maybe we wrap this up.
Yes, let's wrap it. But
That's a good way to end. You got scammed. We got scammed.
I love how
Have
we
you
got
been
off-
scammed?
We got off your feelings real quick. I think I got scammed.
Maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you wouldn't.
I feel like that was the real. Your girlfriend got you an out. You took the Bitcoin, and then that was it.
Maybe you wouldn't have gotten
You were
scammed
just
if
gonna
you
get
wrote
a
it down.
full coaching lecture right there.
Yeah. Well, we can still make that happen. We'll just have to film another one. That's all. Plus, we've been going for like an hour and a half. Plus,
Yeah.
I want to do another one with you as well before you go. I want to do some with you as well. So we've got heaps of time to kind of, but you know, knowing Jared like the way I know Jared, that would have just gone on for so long.
It's gonna be a good
It
time.
would have been. It would have.
Nonetheless, boys, I just wanna obviously thank you for breaking my podcast virginity.
Yep.
That was very
Yep.
enlightening and very awesome. I couldn't think of better lads to have done that with,
Yeah.
especially on my birthday.
Birthday podcast. Yay. That's sick.
You lads are freaking sick, man. I love everything you guys do. Jared, love you, man. We haven't spent a lot of time together, but you're doing some great stuff. You got a beautiful home, beautiful partner. Jealous of the dog, sure. Yeah, man, you got an awesome best mate who's obviously gone above and beyond for you. Kaydes, man, loving you over in Australia, man. Like, you obviously stepped out of your comfort zone and you made a life for yourself, you know. And I look up to you and I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that, man. And to, you know, a lot of things that you and I went through, man, and you know, you say you look up to me, and I appreciate that because I look up to you as well. The amount of discipline and structure and regime as to how hard you go for yourself with self-development is something that I need to take a page out of your book and work a bit more like you. So I do look up to you as well, man.
Cool, man.
So, you know,
We'll work on that together.
yeah,
for
100%.
sure.
A lot of learning to be done. And you know what? Fucking sick. Oh, obviously, no, fuck it. You just, you
Group hug.
yeah.
Hey.
That's like, to be fair, it's been 5 years and we're in New Zealand now. So, there we go, man. Well, we're in New Zealand now, bro. And we're on tour, like, hectic. Anyway, love and leave ya. Wilkoz
Peace and love.
World.
Over
Lots
and
of
out.
love.
Let's go.
Bye.